doing? Just looking to see if we're going live here on YouTube. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. Man, this is weird. This is weird. We should be on YouTube. We're not on YouTube. Please check your stream on YouTube. I'm checking my stream on YouTube. Why are we not streaming here on YouTube? Are we streaming on the YouTubes? Do not see us streaming on the YouTubes. Come on now. Let's see if we're live here. Ah, we are live. Are we live? We are live. Okay. Let's see. Looks like we're live. How come I don't see anything? YouTube Studio. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. How come I don't see anything? I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Non-public. We're live now. The hell we are. Come on. You guys are killing me, man. Smalls, you're killing me, man. All right, well, we're going to make believe we're live. Hey, everybody. How's it going? I'm sitting here cursing YouTube out because it looks like the link isn't working again. Even though I just reestablished the link. All right, maybe it's just recording, and I should be able to see myself on YouTube, but I can't. So that's bothering me. All right. It says we're live. It's just showing my logo. Whatever. Hello. Hey, Melissa. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. All right. Sorry for the delay, everybody. Kind of a late start. I wanted to start like a half hour ago, but all right. So check this out. Check this out. I got some really cool old books. Now, I do have stuff sitting there in the store, so feel free to check that out. Some of these books come with a story. I did some research on these books, and man, I hit the jackpot on a couple of them. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's run through a few of these here. So let me pin this here. All right, here we go. All right. So yeah, as I was saying, welcome everybody. My name is Chris. It's the Cool and Common Stream. It's my Wednesday night book show. This is my vintage and antiquarian book show. This is where I bring out all the cool old books that I have. Could be any genre. And this just happens to be a copy of Tell Me a Story, an anthology of the classic actor Charles Lofton's favorite stories. It's from 1957. It's a first edition. The introduction to this thing is pretty cool. Here's all the stories that he picked. Some of the stories in here. All right, so let me set this up a little bit though. All right. So this is the intro by the famous actor Charles Lofton. He played the Hunchback in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, famously, and a bunch of other stuff. Right. He was married to Elsa Lanchester. That Elsa Lanchester who played The Bride of Frankenstein, amongst many other classic movies, actress. Yeah. So, he put in this book like a bunch of stories that meant something to him. But look at this. Haunting Stories, The Foghorn by Ray Bradbury. H.G. Wells, The Inexperienced Ghost. Guy de Maupassant, William Saroyan, James Thurber, and it just goes on and on. He really likes a lot of the genre stuff too. Aesop's Fables, Hans Christian Andersen, Ray Bradbury, and H.G. Wells, two science fiction stories. Really cool. More Ray Bradbury. Rudyard Kipling is in here. So it's just a really neat book. No dust jacket, just the cover, hardcover. Charles Lofton. It does have the inscription inside. And let's see, this one we got not 20, but it goes around 15 like this. Let's do $8. Why not? $8, 20 seconds. Yeah, the intro in this thing is really cool. Jenny, hi, how are you? Thanks for stopping in. I found some. Oh, hey, thanks, Doc. Dr. Fernandez Jr. is in at 8. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, using the Whatnot credits. Nice. Nice. Good for you. Congratulations. Yeah, that's a real nice book. Enjoy that one. Let me get this one set up for you. And I do use the rewards program. So you will now have little bonus stuff sitting in there. Top right corner there by the crown, right? Yeah, oh no, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's going to be great. Um, yeah, that was one of the neat ones I just recently picked up, and again, I do have a decent amount of books sitting there in the store, so feel free to browse through. If there's anything you see there you like, let me know. I'll pull it, run it for you. You could throw down a pre-bid if you're jumping around shows. But let me show you another one. All right, this one is of particular fun to me. Favorite novels of H. Rider Haggard. If that name doesn't sound familiar, it will be maybe when I show you some of the stories. This is Blue Ribbon Books. This is a 1928 copy. Let's look at some of the things that H. Rider Haggard wrote. It's got the nameplate on it, Violet Barbara McCulloch. Blue Ribbon Books, New York City, 1928, printed in the USA. So, Cleopatra, these are all books by him. It's a kind of a every story is in here. He wrote the famous story She. She is kind of like this weird time travel movie and about traveling through dimensions. And there's this woman who's like this powerful queen. It was made into a movie. It was made into the movie in the 20s, a silent film, and then they did it again in the 40s, I think, and then they did it again in the 1980s as like a total B movie thing. It is hysterical. If you ever want to have some fun, go check out your streaming service and just type in the word She. He's most famous for King Solomon's Mines. Yes, so Richard Chamberlain did a bunch of movies back in the 80s, early 90s. King Solomon's Mines and Alan Quatermain. This is the guy that came up with all that stuff. And then Maiwa's Revenge. Really cool. There's over 700 pages of story in here. They're all in really nice shape. Oh, wait a minute. Check this. I love when this happens. Look at this. I didn't even see this in here when I flipped through. Rider Haggard's Thrilling Romances. Wow. a little clip, a little newspaper clipping someone had in there talking about Alan Quartermain. Revenge of Oh, it's a review of this book, actually. Let's read the review. A volume that should have a wide circulation has just been published and is called Favorite Novels of H. Rider Haggard. And in these 700 pages are assembled King Solomon's Mines, She, Alan Quartermain, Maiwa's Revenge, Cleopatra, every one of the 5 novels in complete form. I wonder how many of my readers remember the excitement with which we read King Solomon's Mines, which was first published exactly 50 years ago. So this is 1928. King Solomon's Mines was published 50 years before that. You do the math. It took the English reading world by storm, and the author Haggard became famous overnight. The enormous reputation he gained by this novel was actually strengthened and increased by the novel She, which followed 2 years later in 1887. Okay, so that was 1885 for King Solomon's Mines, She from 1887, and is now a new motion picture. See, I told you. I saw it. I saw the silent film and I saw the 80s version. That's hysterical. Wow, I'm sticking that right in there. Okay, so here you go. Favorite novels, H. Rider Haggard, 1928. And we're running this one at $10. $10. Nice shape. I didn't show the spine. Let me show the spine. Got the little green tint on the top. Yeah, it's real nice. So speaking of stuff you find in books, I've got another that cracks me up that it's got the review of the book in the book. That's awesome. All right, there's that one. All right, I might do all 3 of these as a bundle just to see if anybody's into it. This is a 1914 copy of the Meadowbrook Girls series by Janet Aldridge. This one is unique because it's got the dust jacket on it. Hardcover dust jacket. That's what it looks like otherwise. Really cool. The Meadowbrook Girls on the tennis courts. Again, the binding is in real nice shape. 1914. 1914. Crazy. So there's that one. But then I've got 2 more. 1914, The Meadowbrook Girls by the Sea. Obviously, no dust jacket. And a third one from 1913, The Meadowbrook Girls Afloat. Sounds a little creepy, doesn't it? Sounds like they're just like floating in a lake. I don't know. I don't like that. And maybe that's just where my brain's going. I don't know. 1913. Again, real nice shape considering the age. So there you go. 1 with the dust jacket, 2 without. I do use flat rate shipping, so once you get over £1 worth of books, shipping is free. Let's do this lot of 3 for $20. We'll go 20 seconds, $20. All 3 books. Lot of 3 down by the sea on the tennis courts, floating around. All 3 of the vintage Meadowbrook Girls books. Erica, how you doing? Pam, good to see you. All right, thanks for checking those out. I got some magic and some space stuff that I could not believe I found. But let me change the weight here. Let me change the weight. And Beardman, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I didn't have the time to put in the different weights here, so I'm just going to change the weight on this one. And then we'll shipping profile. Here we go. All right, check this one out. This is a fun book. Wild Animals. 1935 on this one. Check this out. Wild Animals. Really cool photo book here. Can't believe the pictures in this. Photographs and descriptions of 100 important wild animals. 1935. And it is it's interesting. There's little scriptures and prayer things here, and then just all the technical stuff of the animal. So we got, I won't read them all. Cat-like animals, bears, thick-skinned animals, camel-like animals, giraffes, animals with pouches, monkeys, deer, cattle, dogs, hyenas, toothless animals, snakes, other reptiles, water animals, gnawing animals, rodents, fur-bearing animals, birds, and an index. But it is pretty neat. Anaconda, python, coyote, wolf, monkey, lemur, kangaroo, possum, gibbon, macaque, gorilla, antelope, deer, gazelle, all with the neat vintage photos. There we go. Wild Animals, 1935. We'll start this up for 5. Up and running. A little bit of Paradise. Hello. Good to see you. So today is Wednesday. I am taking off from work the next 2 days. Well, Thursday's a holiday. My company does give us Juneteenth off as a holiday, so I appreciate that. And Friday's my birthday, so I'll take it off for that. So we got a nice long weekend coming up. Tez, how you doing? All right, here's another one. This one I did the research on. My jaw hit the ground. All right, it's not super expensive, but it is unique. You may be familiar with the book, the stories, The Rubaiyat. This, in my research, I was trying to figure out what this is covered in. It seems like leather, but it feels like suede. My research has told me this is camel leather. Camel leather. There's a little name in here from Aunt Jane, September something. I believe it says 1887, which is a little weird because some of the research I did showed this book maybe being from the 1920s, but I think it's earlier than that. Just from the way it's constructed, the leather. It's 48 pages. So this is a number of quatrains by Omar Khayyam, the astronomer and poet of Persia. That's how you'll see it kind of described. This cover is amazing. Red and green, kind of embossed. Very neat. And yeah, super interesting. Considering how old that is, the camel leather is in great shape. I think we got 4 to 7 still on this. Yeah, okay, good, because that's a light book. I got 20 on this. I'm gonna run it at 15. Very unique. You'll find a million copies of this book. You will not find them looking like this. Peanut, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Tez. Grace, hello. Grace Wu, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, that was the Rubaiyat. Really neat on that one. All right. Up next. All right, we got a first edition hardcover, so let me get the weight back to where it needs to be. Be a little more organized for the next show. To get a lot of my shows, what I do is I like to keep my I like to keep the store packed full of books, and then new stuff that I find or haven't had a chance to load into the store, I like to start the show by going through those. So here we go. All right, famous story. Jack Nicholson was in the movie. The French Lieutenant's Woman by John Fowles. This is the 1969 first edition hardcover. Got the name Schaefer. Very nice handwriting. All right. The front and back boards are nice. Flips through nice. And we do have a little crack here on the front 30 pages. That's between page 30 and 31. And then let's just grab the title page here. 1969, first. Did check it out. There you go. First edition hardcover, no dust jacket. And we're going to do this one for 10. It's got a little bit of damage on it. Let's didn't see that spine. Let's do 8. $8. First edition hardcover, 1969. Fowles, The French Lieutenant's Woman. And if you know, you know. Last few seconds. All right, how about a little magic? I found some anytime I find stuff about magic, science fiction, fantasy, all that kind of stuff, I found some cool stuff. Check this out. This is a copy of Dunninger's Magic Tricks. This book was featured in the Harry Houdini museum, actually, and it's highly illustrated. Shows you how all these tricks are done. You can tell by the age on the paper, it's old. I don't know if this is the early 50s. It doesn't actually have a date in it. And in some of the research I've seen, some of them say 40s, some 50s. But they all look like they have the same cover, so could have just been that, but the front cover page is separated, but it is there. All right. So here you go. Cool copy. Dunninger's Magic Tricks. I'm just looking. Yeah, there's no date there. Dunninger's Magic Tricks. Let's do it. This one, again, with the front page, let's say $8. Steve Gentry, hello. Good to see you. I've got another magic book that is a catalog. It's outrageous. Doing the research on all this stuff is kind of fun. I enjoy doing that. All right, thanks for looking at that one. Let's jump into this one. All right, here's the other magic book for the night. From 1949. This is the Lewis Tannen Catalog of Magic. All right. This has a little tear on the front bottom corner, you could see. This is the first Lewis Tannen catalog ever. 1949. It's crazy. There is a little index in the back. It is a catalog of all the tricks, all the illusions you can purchase from him. So this guy sold books that explained tricks, kind of like the Denninger's magic tricks we just saw. And you could buy full-blown kits for stage shows. Crazy. 1949. Number one catalog. Thought Control, Cubio, X-Ray Paddles, The Vanishing Match. All right. Elsewhere, this book has sold for over $100. Believe it or not. I've got 50 on it. But right now, I'll throw it up there for 20 bucks. $20, 20 seconds, up and running. Last few seconds on the Lewis Tannen book. All right. Yeah, I know that's kind of a niche thing, right? Magic. Not everybody's into it. I get it. But it is pretty cool. All right. From 1929. Giants in the Earth. O.E. Rolvog. Ex Libris. Giant in the Earth, 1929. To those of my people who took part in the great settling, to them and their generations, I dedicate this narrative. The land taking and the founding of the kingdom. Real nice. Spine's tight, square. And this is part of the Harper's Modern Classic Series. 1929. We're going to do this one for $5. Giants in the Earth. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. My name is Chris. It's the Cool and Common Stream. It's my Wednesday night book show. Tonight it is Vintage and Antiquarian books. If you see anything in the store you're interested in, just get my attention there in the chat. Be happy to run it for you. If you're jumping around show to show tonight, checking out all the other cool book shows, I don't know why you'd bother. You wouldn't just stay here. But if you do, please feel free to throw down a pre-bid. Pre-bids are always welcome. All right. A friend of mine says that all the time. All right, here we go. I do a science fiction and fantasy book shows here. You might know the name H.G. Wells, okay? So H.G. Wells, obviously very well known for all of his fantasy, the time machine, and all just the amazing, great, classic sci-fi fantasy. But one of the reasons he wrote about so much of history in his science fiction was because he was a history buff. And he wrote a 2-volume series, The Outline of History, the whole story of mankind. Forget womankind. It's mankind. OHG. Uh, it's a 2-volume set on history. Ancient history, modern history. This is the 1956 second volume. He originally wrote the series back in the 1920s. All right. Yeah, first was 1920, and then this is the 1956 version. It does have the dust jacket. And let me see here if it has I think the index was in, yeah, the contents were in volume 1. So the table of contents are here, but it starts out with Muhammad and Islam, Christendom and the Crusades, the Mongol empires, the landways, the new empires, Genghis Khan and his successors, the Renaissance of Western civilization. It's highly illustrated with all kinds of cool maps. Princes, parliaments, and powers. Republics of America and France. The career of Napoleon Bonaparte. The 19th century. The catastrophe of modern imperialism. 20 years of indecision. Now don't forget, this was written in 1920. The Second World War. This is referring to, yeah, this is the second volume, so this has to be older because he's talking about 1939. Yeah, that first volume, yeah, because this was the more modern history. That's what it is. Yeah. There's the index. Very neat. So this is volume 2. Outline of History, H.G. Wells. Got $8 on it. 20 seconds, up and running. It's real nice to find it with the dust jacket too. Again, the dust jacket's in decent shape. Volume 2, Garden City. $8 down to the last few seconds. All right, H.G. Wells. I'll run back through some of the books I've already shown. Let me finish with this one. This one, I cannot believe this. So, like I said, I do a lot of science fiction shows, right? As a kid growing up, I loved all the science fiction stuff and comic books and all kinds of cool stuff and going to the moon. And I was going to be the guy that was going to grow up and be an engineer and put the first moon base on the moon. Well, so when I see a book like this, I got to buy it. Conquest of the Moon. I was like, oh, that's cool. Look at that. It's a whole story about getting to the moon and all this kind. Oh, don't look at that yet. How to building moon ships and how to get to the moon and what would it be like and all that kind of stuff, right? It's cool. Then I catch the name. Dr. Werner von Braun. Ring a bell, anybody? Full color illustrations. So Werner von Braun, the famous or infamous World War II German missile and bomb expert who came to the States after World War II and helped develop our rocket program and missions to space, right? So he conceptualized this, put it together with these 3 guys. Then I flipped the book open to go check it out, right? And look what I find. This book is from 1957. Here's a Lone Ranger advertisement to join the Lone Ranger Club with Dell Comics. Now, selling comic books, I was like, what the? Pretty cool. Now, this is an advertisement from a magazine, because on the flip side, check it out. It's this nice pronghorn antelope. Photo, etching, I don't know what the... Painting. But this was just sitting in the middle of the book. Now, I just want to point out a few things. This book was published in 1957. It's the first edition book, 1957. Man didn't step on the moon until July 20th, 1969. I just want to show you some of the illustrations here. So let's see how close they were. All right. There's a couple of things in here. They talk about a space station, how it would be important to have a space station orbiting the... There's a space station orbiting the Earth. Building the moon ships. Chapter on building spaceships that could actually reach the moon. All the different orbits are laid out. There's one particular photo I want to show you. Oh yeah, here, look at this. All right. So here was the 1950s concept of a rocket ship. All right. Tell me that in the middle doesn't look like exactly what they're doing now. Bezos, that's his rocket ship right there. I mean, it's insane. It's insane how what they said back then. Look at this. A rocket ship that would land vertically, right? Elon, Bezos, bam, there you go. 1957. Crazy. Talking about exploration on the moon. Where would they go? What would they look for? How would they build little pods to live in? What would it look like? Insane. Insanity. With the with the Lone Ranger ad I found in there, right? When this book is sold on other sites, it sells for $125. Easy. Easy. I found a couple of copies that had Werner von Braun's signature or one of these guys' signature. $800. Crazy. I think there's a guy on the bay right now who has a Werner von Braun signed copy for over $800. But I've seen them sell for that. So, insanity. All right? Insanity. I figure I'd bring it here, see if, again, I know these are very boutique kind of niche things. I wanted to offer it up less than 100. So I'm going to go $85. Not $80. I'll go $80 on it. If anybody has an interest, think about it. Go look it up. 30 seconds, $80. Conquest of the Moon, 1957. Werner von Braun. 12 years before man stepped on the moon. Crazy book to find. Crazy. With your era-specific Lone Ranger advertisement. Oh, there's plenty for them on. Actually, there's not a lot of them for sale. But yeah, thanks for looking at that. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. There are a handful of them for sale. None of them have a original Lone Ranger advertisement with them. So I thought that was fun. I hope you did too. Hope you had fun looking at that. Go research it. Conquest of the Moon, edited by Cornelius Ryan. Very cool. Yeah, isn't it, John? Thanks, John. Yeah, that's crazy. Kind of getting towards the end of the newer book. Let me see if there's any pre-bids, if anybody threw anything down there. There is. Let's see. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes. Let me see. I sold that last time. Let me see here. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Ah, yes. All right. Let's pin this one. Thank you for the pre-bid. I do appreciate that very much. All right. Here we go. This is, my friends, you are looking at a 1938 copy of the complete Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Maybe he wasn't a sir yet back when this was done. 1938. It is literally all, as advertised, all the Sherlock Holmes stories as of 1938. I do a murder mystery book show as well, and still have a decent amount in there. All right, what do we have here? Study in Scarlet, The Sign of Four, Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, Return of Sherlock Holmes, The Hound of the Baskervilles, The Valley of Fear, The Scours, The Last Bow, and The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes. There you go. How about that? Look at that. You got the red tint on the top. The spine is nice. For a 19, I mean, they don't make books like this anymore, but here, I'll do it. 1938, still sitting there. Tight. That's how you make a book, man. All right, here we go. On your mark, get set. We got a pre-bid here at the $15, up and running for 30 seconds. Doctor, thank you again. Yeah, super cool. So I do a bunch of different book shows every Wednesday. It's a different theme. Sometimes we do fantasy, then we do a sci-fi show, then we do a horror show, we do a murder mystery show, we do books about sex and relationships, we do the Antiquarian show, and I do a monthly kids book show as well. Once a month we pull out the kids books, do some of that stuff too. So if any of those kind of books interest you, give me a follow, throw down some bookmarks on future shows every Wednesday. And Dr. Fernandez Jr., thank you very much. I do use flat rate shipping, by the way. I haven't mentioned that. I do use flat rate shipping even on my media shows. Again, because it gets you, you buy a book like that, you're over £1. On Whatnot, we're encouraged to use flat rate shipping. And even on the media, my CD shows, all my book shows, once you get above £1, essentially, you've paid $9 and change, and after that, your shipping is free. So if the book is lighter than £1, you'll pay incrementally until you get to £1, shipping wise. But then after that, shipping is free. So there you go. All right, excellent. Been looking for that exact one. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I'm glad you got it. That's great. Sammy girl, hello. How you doing? All right. So let's see here. Let me click that off. All right. The only other new one I had is not a vintage book. It's a book about other it's the real Deadwood. I don't know if you've seen this one. It's been floating around out there, but it just talks about the wild, wild western days. Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane, a few of Deadwood's real heroes, gunfighters, gamblers, and goners, Deadwood's docs and frontier medicine, sheriffs, law and disorder in Deadwood, panning for color, gold, that is, entering the Badlands, the birth of Deadwood. So it's the real Deadwood. Let me just change the weight on this listing again. Next show, I'll have the listings separated like I do on all my other shows. Don't know why I don't have that here. Maybe I did it as a temporary listing last time. Let me just change the weight here. We'll do this one over here, and let's run this for $3. $3, 20 seconds. Up and running. Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the really cool things that I like very much as a buyer on Whatnot is if you're looking for anything, you'll find it on Whatnot. I know there's other sites you can go to. You go there, I go there, I am there, but this is just really cool. The interaction I enjoy very much, and yeah, there's just so many cool solar. Every community here at Whatnot is pretty cool, right? So I'm involved in books. Friday nights I do a comic book show. Every other Sunday I do either an ephemera show or a music show. I sell CDs, cassettes, and vinyl. Each of those four communities are just awesome. Really, really fun. Lots of great people, lots of great sellers. Uh, you'll have a lot of fun. All right, I'm just going to flip back through the books that I started with just in case anybody missed them. All right. We're all multifaceted. Yes, we are. All right. That's some jewelry for my next jewelry show back there. Multifaceted. Just like the costume jewelry I'll be selling next Tuesday at 10 p.m. All right. Conquest of the Moon. We talked about that one. The Outline of History by H.G. Wells. 1929, Giants in the Earth. 1949, first ever Lewis Tannen Magic Catalog. Early copy of Dunninger's Magic Tricks. 1969, first edition hardcover, The French Lieutenant's Woman, John Fowles. An early copy of the Rubaiyat in a camel suede cover. That's what my research tells me it is. Camel suede. Very interesting. We got a 1935 copy of Wild Animals. This one's just a fun one. Maybe I'll run this one again. People like old photos of animals. The Indian elephant. You know the difference between the Indian elephant and the African elephant? It's the size of the ears. Check out the size of the ears. Super cool. Let's run wild animals. We're going to run wild animals here. Let's do it. I know it says 1 pound. I've got the weight set to 4 to 7 from the last one. So I'm just going to run this book at 5. Wild animals, $5 start. This was 1935. 1935. Wild animals. Last 5 seconds. All right, let me get these out of the way, and then let me show you the first The first couple of books there. All right, from 1914 and 1913, we've got the Meadowbrook Girls series. 1914, Meadowbrook Girls by the Sea. I did these three as a bundle before. If anybody's interested in some of the old series, here's one of them. All right, there was the Hardy Boys, there was Nancy Drew. Here's the Meadowbrook Girls. 1913, Meadowbrook Girls Afloat, which again reminds me of that sounds like a murder mystery book title to me. I'm sure it's very innocent and they go for a little boat ride on the lake and something silly happens, but the Meadowbrook Girls Afloat, maybe it's just where my brain goes, but I don't know. It's just not good. 1914 with the Dust Jacket. Not easy finding these from the early 1900s with the Dust Jacket. All right, so there's three of the Meadowbrook Girls and a 1928 copy of the favorite novels of H. Rider Haggard. This is the guy that did Solomon's Mines. Alan Quatermain, he created that character. He's kind of the father of the swashbuckling adventurer guy, right? He gets a lot of credit for King Solomon's Mines and Alan Quatermain because a lot of Indiana Jones is based on those characters. Or that character, I should say. So real famous, did some really neat stuff with time travel and all kinds of cool stuff. H. Rider Haggard. All right, so there you go. So if anybody sees anything there you like, let me know. Maybe we'll run a few from the store now. Let's see if we got any other pre-bids floating around in the meantime. All right, so now we do what we call dealer's choice. Here we go. Dealer's choice. Let me see a few things here. See what might be of interest. I've got an interesting book about Edgar Rice Burroughs, Master of Adventure. So if you like your Tarzan, if you like your John Carter, Warlord of Mars, all that kind of stuff, but you don't know much about Edgar Rice Burroughs, here's a chance. There's a great illustration. Him and all of his famous characters. Really neat. All right, Edgar Rice Burroughs, Master of Adventure. We got 40 on this one. Starting up at 30. Up and running. 1965, a little over a pound. MPOW, good to see you. Maddie, hello. Lima, Hazel, thanks everybody for stopping on in. I do appreciate it. Christina, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Check out that store. Feel free to let me know if there's anything you would like me to run. Right now I'm doing a little dealer's choice here, so just picking some random stuff out of the store. We did go through some stuff that was not in the store a couple times already, so just want to highlight a few cool books here, throw down some discounts for you. This is a 1921 copy of Scaramouche by Raphael Sabatini. A Romance of the French Revolution. Flips real nice. Scaramouche. Will you do the fandango? Thunderbolts of lightning. Very, very frightening. Me. Galileo. Figaro. Scaramouche. All right, it's a first edition, first printing, Scaramouche, Sabatini. Let's get it going here. Enough singing Queen songs. I don't want to get hit on my YouTube account. I got it for 12. Let's run it for 8. Up and running. Crip, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. My name is Chris. It's the Cool and Common Stream. It is my Wednesday night book show. This week's content contains antiquarian and vintage books. I started out with strictly an antiquarian show, but I've got so many just cool old books that don't fit into any of my other show categories, or maybe I've got a copy in here of Thuvia Made of Mars, and I kept bringing it to my sci-fi show, and nobody wanted it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll bring it here. So speaking of which, here, like this. We just showed Edgar Rice Burroughs, a book about Edgar Rice Burroughs. Here you go. Edgar Rice Burroughs, Thuvia, Made of Mars. Part of the Martian stories. Edgar Rice Burroughs, 1920. This is a 1920 copy. Now, somebody put some pictures of Edgar Rice Burroughs in here. I guess because they were big fans of Edgar Rice Burroughs. Little crack there. Everything is complete. Crazy. Crazy old books. Published October 1920. Right there. All right, your chance to get some vintage John Carter, Thuvia, Made of Mars. Let's get this one going. Got it in the store for 20. I'm going to run it at 15. Up and running. Thuvia, Made of Mars. Also got a number of interesting slipcase books. If anybody's into the whole slipcase display and storage and all that kind of stuff, got some really nice slipcase books in there. Jess, good to see you. Ducky, hello. Thrift Queen, welcome. Muck backwards. I get it. I get it. I get it. I see what you did there. All right, 1920 copy, Thuvia, Made of Mars. Oh yeah, there we go. Here we go. What's something a little different, a little fun? 1974. 1974, the Mickey Mouse Make It book. All right, it's not a 1920 or an 1887 copy like some of the other books in here, but it's a nice clean copy. Sometimes you find these books, they've got scribbles everywhere and crayon and all that stuff. Nice book club edition. The vintage 1974 Mickey Mouse Make It book. $5 on this one. Up and running. So the slipcase books I have, we got Mark Twain, Oscar Wilde, the Satyricon, we got Aristophanes, we have all the classics. Guy de Maupassant. Got some more H. Ooh, maybe I'll show the other H.G. Wells. Got some really cool H.G. Wells. All right, let's put Mickey Mouse back. We were talking about H.G. Wells earlier. All right. Here is a 1960 Heritage Club edition from a 1909 story that H.G. Wells wrote called Tono Bungay. This book, the whole book is a satire about medicine and quackery at the time. And you could still say today, I suppose, yeah? Kind of a kid comes home from school, he's helping his uncle. His uncle makes this fake medicine up and tells him to go try to sell it, and it takes off like wildfire. And they're making money hands over fist, and that's kind of the story here. It's got the original insert in it. It does have illustrations. And the name of this great medicine is the Tono Bungay. Let's see if we got a color plate in there. I think there is. Yeah, there's a few of them. So, very interesting. H.G. Wells. Again, a lot of people think of him as the sci-fi guy who wrote The Time Machine. But he's done a lot of other interesting stuff. Very much interested in history and social science. $10 on this gorgeous slipcase book. I do use flat rate shipping, so once you get over the hump, this is over 2 pounds a book, so I know the shipping is $9 and change, right? But after that, your shipping's free. So if you've already bought something, like Dr. Fernandez has, he's into the free shipping right now. Play ball cards, good to see ya. Ursula, welcome. Thanks for coming on in. All right, that was H.G. Wells' satire on fake medicine, the old snake oil salesman, Tono Bungay. 1909 story, 1960 copy. We'll throw another little fun kids book. We did some of the kids books earlier. 1949. This is a nice, cheap, light one. Love all the illustrations in these. They're always fun. 1949. Honey Bunch and Norman on Lighthouse Island. There you go. Again, kids series from back in the day. 1949. Great condition. Honey Bunch, not Honey Bunches of Oats. $3. Up and running. Just so. What's up? Good to see you. John, good to see you as well. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate everybody who stops on in, whether you're just checking out the show, hanging out, watching some cool books, having a nice little chat, or if you're looking for something specific or in particular, please let me know. Again, for every book you see, there's another 100 books floating around here. So just let me know, and if I can help you out, I will do my best. All right, for some of the comic lovers out there, how about this? 1952 copy of Prince Valiant Fights Attila the Hun by Hal Foster. Classic. Serialized in newspapers for years and decades and decades. It's price clipped here. The dust jacket has done its job very well. The cover's in great shape. Great illustrations. So you got all the classic art, but you've also got story with the book, right? So you get a little more exposition than you would in the comic strip, but you get that great Hal Foster art. Very neat. Black and white. Prince Valiant fights Attila the Hun. How about that? Super classic. $10, 30 seconds, up and running. Let's do a little of that action. Do that there. There we go. All right. Garth, good to see you again. Ziggy, hello. Down to the last few seconds on the Prince Valiant. I don't think I've mentioned this, but if you do want to discuss price on any book, if you want to bundle some stuff together, please feel free to do so. I'm more than happy to talk money, to put bundles together. Again, just let me know in the chat. I'm very easy to work with. My wife might have a different opinion, but I think so. Let's go with a little Mark Twain here next. Let's do a little Mark Twain. Mark Twainicus. All right, this is another slipcover book. Another slipcase. Mark Twain Roughing It. Illustrated by Noel Sickles, Heritage. Would you take 70 on the conquest of the moon? Digger. Well, what am I bothering with that? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me get it. Let me get it. All right. 70 on Conquest of the Moon. Yeah, I'll run it at 70. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Conquest I'm telling you, that's the price I've seen. If it didn't sell tonight, that's what it's going for. All right, 70 on this, $6,000 on the vintage Lone Ranger ad. How about that? $70 for the Lone Ranger ad. I'll give you the book for free. How about that? All right. You're going to get both of those. I am going to stick this in here. You can't stop me because it's my book right now. All right. Here we go. Conquest of the Moon. Let me pin that one. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I got this set for £1 again. Oh, 4 to 7 ounces. Let's get that back where it's got to be for the weight. So that's everybody's happy with that. And then let me start this up for you. We are going to start Conquest of the Moon. $70, 15 seconds. Up and running, my friend. Thank you for asking. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy that very much. Congratulations. That is a good get. That is what you call a good get, Digger. Yes, you're very welcome. Pammin in the house. What's up, Ed? How you doing tonight? Hey, hey. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, Mark Twain. You distracted me from my Mark Twain action. Here we go. Not that I mind. All right, see how easy that was? You just got to ask. I'm right here. All right, Mark Twain, Roughing It. Again, Heritage Club slipcase version with all the good stuff. Color plates, introduction, all the good stuff. Again, looks like it's never been read. Got some cool color illustrations in here. And the slipcase. Texas, what's up? What is up? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping on in. Always good to see you. Hello, hello. All right, here we go. Mark Twain's Roughing It. We're going to start it up. 15. What's up, the stars? Oh, Texas Chandelier bringing the dad jokes to the show. Whoa. All right, very nice, very nice. Uh, Down to the last 10 seconds on the Mark Twain. Do, 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 do. All right, what else was I going to show you? Oh, yeah. All right, another slipcase book. Nice little gold tone slipcase on this one, right? What's my note here? Yes, Heritage Press. Another Heritage Press slipcase book. 1968 with James Hill art inside. I really like the boards on this, real nice. All right, again, the insert. And this is Oscar Wilde, the short stories of Oscar Wilde. Jewelry tomorrow. Ooh, I can't do jewelry tomorrow. I got a dinner appointment I gotta go to. So slight change, slight change. Maybe this weekend. Maybe this weekend. The Rubaiyat. Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, which... Oh, those are the illustrations. Let me get to the short stories here. I'm trying to show the stories. Here we go. The Portrait of Mr. W.H., Lord Arthur Saville's Crime, The Sphinx Without a Secret, The Canterville Ghost, great story. The Model Millionaire, House of Pomegranates, The Happy Prince, and Other Tales. Very nice. All right, let's run it. The Oscar Wilde. And 15 on this one. Digger would like to see the Camel Velvet book. Yes. Last 5 seconds. All right. Thanks for looking at that one. Put this one away. Okay, here it is again. So here's the story again, right? It's the Rubaiyat. And this looks like, to me, it says September something 1887. When I look online, I've seen this listed as 1920. I don't believe it because of the inscription in here. I think it's from the mid or late 1800s. Obviously, we got the tear here up the front. It does have a very Art Deco almost kind of look to it there, but this, from my best guess, I thought it was a leather cover, but it feels like suede. In looking up others, I've seen it referred to as camel suede or camel leather. I cannot confirm or deny. I can just say it feels like a suede. It is complete. It is the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. So it's all the quatrains. It is in English. And up front, it's got the great little thing there. And then the cover page is also very neat. Very cool. So I got 20 on it. I think I ran it for 15 earlier. I'll run it for 15 again. Let me just change the weight. Although for you, it's not going to matter because you're already above. But if anybody else is interested in this, usually I have multiple kind of blank things ready to go, so you don't have to edit it in between the show. But not today. All right, we're going to start this up. I said 15. 15 it is. I meant to do 15 seconds, not 30, but up and running. Thank you, Digger. Digger getting the deals today. The last few seconds. All right. Congratulations. Yeah, that is unique. I can't say I've ever seen one like. You'll find many different copies of the Rubaiyat out there. I've never seen one like that. You're very welcome. All right, set this aside. We'll put it with your other one. Excellent. All right, this goes back here. All right, I think we're going to go, we'll go to the top of the hour, another 12 minutes or so. So, let's see. Let's pick something else here. This one's kind of neat. The Dave Dawson book. Let's show this one. From 1943. Love the cover. Dave Dawson on the Russian Front. The War Adventure series. There's an inscription here in the front. William Charles Ziegler Jr. The 31st of January, 1946. Pages are tanned. Copyright 1943. Nice little adventure book. In great shape. The boards, the spine. Dave Dawson on the Russian front. Let's run this one. $5. 15 seconds. Up and running. Vicky, how you doing? Good to see you. Hi, Lena. Oh, Digger's in on this one too. Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate the bid. All right, another one. Nice. Add it to the pile. Got another one. Again, war theme. 1918. The Rough Road. William J. Locke. Again, another one. Real nice shape. The Rough Road. So they took the dust jacket, which I guess ripped maybe or whatever. They cut off the front cover and glued it to the inside front board. So there's your original cover, which is kind of nice. They did a good job. Excuse me. 1917, copyright 1918, John Lane Company. WW1, Rough Road. Digger, you are correct. You might as well fill a box. Once you get over that 1 pound, no doubt about it. All right. We got 8 on this one for the next 15 seconds. Thanks, everybody, for coming on in. My name is Chris. It's the Cool and Common stream. It's my Wednesday night book show. Do a book show every Wednesday. So if you enjoy books like I enjoy books, come on by and check it out. I do a different theme every week. So this week's theme is vintage and antiquarian books. And then next week it might be sci-fi, and the week after it might be mystery, murder. The week after it could be fantasy, blah, blah, blah. They're all there. I got my next 6 months worth of shows. They're already out there. Please feel free to give me a follow and bookmark some shows. It always helps. And in the event that my YouTube simulcast is actually working, which it didn't look like it was at the beginning of the show, I hope it is now. Hey, hit that QR code on YouTube or click that link in the description on YouTube and join me here on Whatnot. If you join, you get a $15 credit towards your first purchase when you make your first purchase. I get a little something too, which works out great for both of us. And as you can see from the YouTube video, all kinds of great stuff here on Whatnot. Come on by, check it out. All right, that's enough of a commercial for Whatnot. Let's get back to the books. All right, let me pick something we haven't looked at yet. Ooh. Here's a fun one. Here's a classic. Here's a classic with broad appeal. Howard Pyle. The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood. Illustrated by Lawrence Bacall Smith. Gresset and Dunlop. There is a little rubbing on the corner here, Little lost just around this top edge right there. Look at the color illustrations. Ooh, that's just on the front board. He split the arrow. That's great. Got the color. Oh, look at these. Oh my God. Look at the color illustrations inside. Black and white, and then the color illustrations. Wow. Oh, let's check this one out. Let's check this one out. There you go. Nice. The friar kept bidding him hasten, calling him ill names. So a bunch of different Robin Hood stories in here. Let's see if we got the index here. The Merry Adventures. Oh my gosh. How Robin Hood came to be an outlaw. Robin Hood and the Tinker. The shooting match at Nottingham Town. Will Stuteley rescued by his companions. Robin Hood turns butcher. Little John go. I'm not going to read them all. You can see there's a lot of stories here. 1952. Robin Hood. $8. 15 seconds. Up and running. Robin's Nest Thrift. Huh. Robin's Nest? Robin Hood? Could it be? All right, I guess not. That's all right. Kid and Sasha, how you doing? I got this little cute 1920s Protestant Episcopal hymnal. Good shape. Little separation there in the top corner. But from 1920, $3, 15 seconds. All right. Let's see. Coming up to the end of the show here. Let me run a couple more. All right. Classic Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver's Travels. Okay, so we got a little line here. December 22nd, 1905. Somebody got a Christmas present. Wow. Pages are brittle. You can almost hear them as I flip through them, but it is illustrated. It's got that old paper feel to it, almost like construction paper. It's all there. Gulliver's Travels. Vintage. All right. Circa 1905. You can see the cloth here. Like I said, the cloth here was glued. You can see it's there in place. Right? Good condition. All right. Last one of the night. This one's a little special. Oh, combat? Yeah, let me grab the combat for you. Good thing you said something, because I was going to run the last book of the night. Let me get the combat. Combat, the counterattack. Authorized TV adventure. Whitman. I've been coming across these. I've been grabbing these whenever I find them. The authorized TV adventures. It's got some cool ones. All right. Based on the ABC television series. So you can see there's a little, it's got the plastic coating on it. It is a little bit of loss right there on the spine where it bends. That's just the plastic coating on top. Got the great illustration on the boards, very G.I. Joe reminiscent. There you go. Combat. Let me run for you. Start it up. 15 seconds. $8 is what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Digger. Congratulations, and thank you once again. So I'm off. I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so these will get out in the mail tomorrow. So you will see them sooner instead of later. All right, I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it with a special book. This is one of my favorite books in the store right now. You'll see why in a minute here. One of my absolute favorite books in the store right now. From it doesn't look like much this way. 1955, Where Speed is King, double signed. All right, who's the author? Hyde. Buddy W. from Granny Whitmer. Okay, well that's it's from Granny. Thank you, Granny. With best wishes, Margaret Hyde and Edwin Hyde. Margaret Hyde. Where Speed is King by Margaret and Edwin Hyde. Illustrated by Clifford N. Geary. The Hyde family signed it. Crazy. And the story, the book itself is, again, copyright 1955. All the different types of speed records, things you can do to go fast. Fastest men in the world, winter carnival, horses, soap boxes, hot rods, race cars, boats, sails, pigeons, fun on two wheels, fast wings, and speed records. We'll have to check out the speed records of the time. So, let's see. Let me flip that page. Again, illustrated throughout. Sledding, ice sailing, soap boxes, fastest boats afloat, pigeon races. Crazy. All right, let's look at the fastest men in the world. Here we go. Someone Google what the current is. Men's freestyle, 100 yards, 49.2 seconds. R. Cleveland, United States, Columbus, Ohio, February 23rd, 1952. They've got speed records in there. That's pretty funny. All right. Double signed. Let's open up to the sign page right there. Signed by both authors, husband and wife, Margaret and Edwin Hyde. Last one of the night. Here we go. 20 seconds. 15. Up and running. Diggers in. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's cool. Like I said, this is one of my favorite books. My favorite book that's been here in the store. So I'm glad you're going to enjoy it. Double signed. Nice. All right. Let me just check one thing here. Yeah, it's still not. Still don't see anything on YouTube. Man, that stinks. All right, I'll have to check it out after the show. Speaking about after the show, let me just double check for any other pre-bids before I jump off. Okay. All right, we're good. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. My name is Chris. This is the Cool and Common Stream. Check me out every Wednesday for books. Let's see, is there anybody who want to go raid? Shall we do a raid thing? If you all want to hang out, you got anybody you want to raid? Let's go see. Who else is doing books right now? Books, and books. Books. Gianni's doing books. Let's go see my friend Gianni here, all right? Stop on in. Tell him Chris sent you. Let's go see him here. All right, everybody, you take it easy. Thanks again. We will see you next time on the Cool and Common Stream. Bye-bye.